And so you finish up at the Warriors in the last season and you're injured and then it's time to hang them up. But you don't leave New Zealand. And I think we've heard the reasons why, you stayed, but then you got into the supermarket business.
Yeah.
I'm quite keen to hear about like why you got in and why you got out.
Yeah, just stumbled across some people who are in it. They spoke to me about, why aren't you doing this? And I sort of said, oh, well, actually, I don't know. Mate, let's go and have a coffee and have a chat about it. So I had that chat and was really impressed. I'd never thought of anything like that. And then spoke to Brucey, who's my mate here, Bruce Sharrock, and sort of said to him about it. And Brucey goes, yeah, man, I know a fair few of the boys that are doing the whole foodies thing, and yeah, they love it. Why not?
The chat out in the world for the uninitiated, licensed to print money in supermarket industry, fact or fiction? Because we've got a mate who's just got into it.
Yeah.
Gage Brown.
Gage Brown, shout out.
Only Hunger.
Yeah,
it is, man. But it's he'll be able to tell you it's not an easy track, which is why, right? It's like being a professional athlete. Like everyone wants to be it, but not everyone can be. So psychometric tests, doing 2 years, packing shells, not getting paid everywhere because you've got to see how the different setups are, meet the different owners, and the owners get to have a say on you as a person and your traits. And so you're an advertising little bandwagon road trip going around.
Is that right?
100%, mate.
You've got to go to other stores and
100%
cut your teeth.
That's to get approved as an operator. So you have to earn the right to be approved to be an operator, and then once you're that, then you can then look at stores that are available, and then you apply for those stores, and then you go through another process. 3 people it's narrowed down to, and then they're interviewed, and then they'll decide. Foodstuffs will decide on who the potential new owner will be of that store, and then you negotiate with the current owner, and you have to come up with a deal on guidelines. There's strict guidelines within that. And it's a process, mate. Then you get the store, and then black and white, how you perform will be basically like NRL career, how you progress.
Were you thinking about this in your last years of what you
No.
do? No?
No, it was random, so random. So I was coaching Mount Albert Grammar first 13, and I think I went to the local New World and sort of said, hey, I want to give these boys an opportunity that is different. The rugby league program at Mags was rugby league is not seen as the high, you're not rugby union, and particularly at Mags.
It's not first 15, not first 11
Mags
football.
is like royalty, right? Rugby, and then league was a fair way down. They were trained up in the archery field on Mount Albert Hill, right? So I said to Dale Burton, who was the principal at the time, my wife's into me about coaching, and Dale's into me about coaching them, and I go, right, all right, I will, but I go, we've got to be allowed to train and play on number 1, like the first 15. I said, and I'm going to do new jerseys, and I'm going to be doing this and that and blah, blah, blah. Yep. And he's going, yep, all good. So, yep, he did, to his word, he did. And I took that on, and what I could see was the boys weren't the best behaviours at the school or the best attenders. And I go, right, this is going to be a way to get the kids to come to school every day because they all want to be NRL players. And I go, I'm not going to be a dream buster, but not all you are going to play in the NRL. That's real, right? So you got to have a backup plan. So the only way we're going to do this is to learn what we need to learn to be best prepared for the next stage, right? So I went to the local New World and sort of said to him, this is my plan. I got a footy team. I said I want to get them working to earn opportunities to grow what they're going to receive, or when we do the nationals, we go and stay at a camp rather than at home with, the family and whatever situation there, and I can be consistent and we're together and all this. So, went to him and he goes, mate, what, this is awesome. He goes, yep, I'll do what you want me to do. So what we organised was 2 boys every Friday, Saturday, Sunday from 4 o'clock would come to the New World and would collect trolleys, and they'd be in their number 1s. So they're representing the school, and they'd be collecting trolleys. And if they had a good attitude and that type of thing, they'd have to do the induction to being employed, and they'd get offered a job if they show the right attitude. And 6 of the boys got offered a job, and 6 of them stayed there for a good period of time working, which is great, right? So it taught them really good lessons about that. The other bit was must attend every day, can't get in trouble. So Satili Tupanua, who's at the Roosters, Tilly was in our team, and he was pretty much going to school 1 day a week. And the reason, it's as simple as this, right? He would get into trouble because he didn't have the right school shoes. So I'd break every individual down and go, okay, what's the challenges we've got? What do we got to work with? So I went and bought him a pair of school shoes. He stopped getting detentions. The reason why he wasn't going to school, because as soon as he'd get there at form class, he'd get a detention.
Yeah.
So there's my lunchtime gone. I'm not going to school. I don't want to be spending more time in the classroom. He's an active kid, right? So he played one game, it was a trial game against another school, killed him, brained him. I said, did you like that? He goes, yep, loved it. I said, all right, if you want to play rugby league in this team, all you've got to do is come to school every day, behave yourself, and you'll get to do that, right? So his turnaround was unreal. He's coming to school every day. He stopped playing up in the classroom because he wasn't getting into trouble because of the bad start to the day. And I was getting complaints from teachers because he wasn't being engaged. So I go, mate, you used to complain about the guy who wasn't happy.
Yeah.
And now he's quiet and you're complaining that he's not engaged in your class. This is a guy who wouldn't hand assignments in or do tests. And straight away, he got like a C for the first time in his life, and then got a B. And then there was one thing he got an A in. And you could just see this kid completely change. He got so much pride in himself. So all of these little things I was doing with these boys, I'm trying to think of the guy's name as the owner. He's such a great bloke. He goes, mate, this is amazing. This is what we're about. So then he got me an interview at Footy's after we had the coffee, and I went in and had to sit down with the gatekeeper, and I got through that interview, and then had to do the psychometric tests and do the 2 years. Lucky enough that I was doing ambassadorial stuff, so I had that flexibility, and I was getting paid so I could cover not working in the stores, and then got approved as an operator and put in for Waipu and got the store.
Well, I'll visit there later on. I've just come down from Mangawhai today, actually. I'm staying up there for the weekend.
Awesome.
So
You got to let me know.
We'll head up to Waipu.
Let me know.
Tell me, has that experience ruined supermarket shopping for you? Now on the other side?
No, love it.
You don't go in and like go, oh,
Yeah,
they could be facing things up a different way.
Science of shopping, mate.
Yeah, is that right?
There is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And foodies are one of the best.
So, there's a whole world
Yep.
that we don't know about.
Yep.
I bet you still know the
There's 3
secret handshake
shoppers.
and everything.
3 shoppers. The snake walkers, boundary riders, and fuzzy wuzzies.
Really?
Yep.
What's the difference?
So fuzzy wuzzies are the ones who go in, they know what they want, they go in, get it, and get out. So probably your tradies who are going in for smoko, just no time, get in the store, get me stuff, get out. Boundary riders, they'll go and get milk,
Yeah, produce,
bread,
meat.
yeah,
Yep.
meat,
That's me.
pretty much around the outside of the store, which is where it all is.
Yeah.
So you've got to do the whole store.
Yeah.
And then out.
It's good.
And then snake walkers, they'll do every aisle, probably mum doing the weekly shop. She'll be there for over an hour. She's doing the whole lot.
Yeah.
Now, in different stores,
Is that you?
I'm a snake walker.
Yeah.
in different
Boundary rider.
stores at different times, those shoppers will be in the store predominantly. And so the science of the shopping is to put different things in different places.
Yeah, that winds me up. That winds me up. Chocolate bickies like somewhere else. I'm going, why are they here this time? Why is the toothpaste over
You
there?
came in. So you can buy them. That's
Yeah.
why.
I read some interview
So good. It's really good, eh?
you did where you talked about you'd be like stocking shelves and people would come and say, "Pricey, oh, you've fallen on tough times, mate.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on?"
You go, what the hell are you doing here, bro?
And your Mount Albert grammar number one's just fucking stocking shelves.
Like, nah.
No, so yeah, that was when I had the store, and I'm just sort of going, so there's a real misconception. So, like, you sort of see it as printing money, but it's a, like, not a trade, but it's a profession. And you look at the people who work in a supermarket, there's butchers and there's bakers, and they're professionals. But, like, even I had that philosophy when I was a kid, like, everyone who worked at a supermarket is sort of someone that didn't qualify at school or
Yeah.
but it's definitely not the case at all. And that was one of the things as I went through, and I did a lot of the internal sort of studying stuff, and I really encouraged my staff to be doing that sort of stuff as well, because it really, they would grow as individuals. And you'd have a 15-year-old young female who's at school and spent 3 years with me, and then would be leaving to go to university, and completely different kids to when they first started with you. And that's what part of the Four Square's about, is giving that confidence and, you know, being a bit more outgoing and being able to deal with different people and, you know, all that sort of stuff, having responsibilities, you know, being disciplined, being on time, you know, working hard during the whole time, all of that sort of stuff. And, yeah, I loved that. I loved it. And it's probably the closest to rugby league that I've ever experienced since playing footy.
My understanding was once you could get into that game, you were in there for life. But you did 4 years and then got out.
Three.
How
Three.
come you left?
I just knew we were getting older. Obviously, our parents are getting older, and I just didn't want to be away from our parents, not having spent real quality time. We're in Sydney 12 years, and we're here 13 years, 25 years away from our family. And all the lessons we were talking about before of what New Zealand had taught me is that to be around your family. And Joe, they're a really close family, that you know, Joe's family, and we had been away for a long time. So to have the kids come back just before they left home, like J-Mo went to Sydney before we come back, so she'd sort of flown the coop. But Case and Rolls came back with us. Rolly still had a year to go at school. Case just finished. I thought it'd be really cool. Good timing to get them back there. Otherwise, we'd be coming back. They'd be probably staying, or, you know, otherwise I would have still been here, mate. I don't say this disrespectfully, but I just think of how much energy and focus it takes to run a supermarket. And mine was an A-grade, smaller version of the big picture. It only gets bigger and bigger as you go up, which I was really looking forward to, but I could see how challenging it was for time with family and that type of thing, and I didn't want to challenge that. So I knew that if I took the next step, we're right in it now, because there's a lot of money that's involved, as well as you're stepping into a new world, which is a lot more responsibility and that type of thing. And yeah, I was just a bit concerned about losing, especially when the kids were still around. You know, probably now it'd probably be a lot better if I was doing it now.
Yeah.
So if it was 5 years or 10 years further down than where I was, I'd still be doing it, because it'd just be me and Joey, and the kids would be doing their thing. But yeah, just timing wise, I thought we sort of got to do this now.
There was some chat towards the back end of your career that you might be an NRL CEO in waiting as well. Is that, like, I think you were doing your MBA at the time?
Yeah.
Is that still something which may be on the horizon one day, or are you done with footy admin?
You know what? I'm really confused about actually what I want to do. I did my MBA. I love leading people. I love helping people grow and becoming better. Rugby league's my passion, so I thought, wouldn't that be a great fit? You'd have both worlds. I did the GM of footy at the Dogs. It was only for 12 months. I signed a 3-year deal, but there was a lot of stuff going on at the time, and I think there was a little bit of fear of me taking roles and all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, I probably wasn't prepared as good as I could have been for it. And I suppose when I retired from footy, I probably should have, I was almost hoping or praying for someone to take me under their wing and say, right, this is where you're going to get to, this is where you're going to start, and this is what you've got to do between now and then to get to there. Instead, I sort of went back to Aussie, got asked to go on the board at the Bulldogs, did that. Then the opportunity come up as GM of footy. I've always wanted to do that. Yep, jump in and do it. It's a big job, mate. Bulldogs are a big club. Things weren't going great at the time, dealing with salary cap, big turnover of players and all sorts of stuff. Bit of fighting going on in the background because of the board. So it was probably wrong time, wrong place, and the wrong person. Our CEO, first time he'd been a CEO, first time a GM of footy, first time our chair had been a chair. There's a whole lot of firsts. Taught me a fair bit. Didn't scare me, but there's a lot of politics, and I think I'd have to be better prepared, and you got to have a lot more support. If you don't have the support, you're wasting your time. And I've got a lot of respect for the administrators in the game because I know now what goes on behind doors and in front of doors. And, mate, it's a tough gig. So then the coaching side, I never thought I wanted to be a coach, but when I coached Mags, loved it. Loved it. Then I did some stuff in Sunny Coast a couple of years ago with the under-20s there and really enjoyed it. But again, how do you get into coaching? Like, you've got to start, and I need salary to survive, and I wouldn't be able to do that. So, and if I commit to something, I want to be able to really commit to it. Like I did at Mags, it was almost a full-time job. Like my wife used to say, mate, it's not an NRL team, it's a schoolboy team. And I said, yeah, but if we set a standard, you treat the boys like dogs, I'll act like dogs. You treat the boys with respect, and at a standard, there's no excuses. They'll do that. And it was awesome. Got them a fitted mouth guard and skins, and we went swimming for recovery and, all this sort of stuff. So it just got the boys to start to think about what professionalism looks like.
Transport us to current day. You're a bit confused. You're not really sure what you're doing. You get a call to go on Celebrity Treasure Island. I'm assuming a call's out of the blue.
Out of the blue.
How long did the
Mate, it's
decision
no brainer. New Zealand's favourite Aussie coming back for my favourite TV show.
Is it a yes
in
straight
New
away,
Zealand.
or is it oh shit, I'll have to think
So
about
that was
this.
Brucey. So Brucey rings me because Bruce sort of looked after all my off-field stuff when I was in New Zealand, but I did do some stuff for celebrity speakers when I was here doing circuits with corporates. And so those guys rang Brucey and said they'd really like to have Steve on Celebrity Treasure Island. And he said, I don't know what you're thinking, whether you want to or not, but I'll leave it with you and you get back to me and let me know. So I rang Joey. I said, what do you reckon? And she goes, well, you're the one who's got to do it.
Pause there. Do you even know what the show is before you agree to it?
Not really.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, not really. And so tried to look it up. And being in Aussie, I can't download the app and all that sort of stuff. So
Geo-blocking, pisses me off too.
all the stuff that was on there was quite short snippets. Yeah. So it didn't really show me exactly what the show was
You
about.
get a gist. You're on an island with some people, and there's some sort of.
It's not Dancing with the Stars, so already I'm
Well,
okay.
Jo
with
will
it.
never let me go on Dancing with the Stars. She goes, because they all end up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so she goes, you're not going on that show.
Trade inside secrets.
No,
Sorry, back to Celebrity Treasure Island. Carry on.
So, and then I've just gone through all the process. I'm going, well, why wouldn't I? What would stop me from doing it? Packing my pants. I thought, do I try and learn as much as I can, or do I just go in and go, you know what, whatever it is, and so I went with the latter, and I reckon it was a pretty good way to go in.
So literally no
idea. And when I start half talking to James and a few of the others, like, mate, they're encyclopedias.
Oh, really?
Seriously, they love it. Yeah. And I was just going, oh, maybe I should have learned a little bit about what's going on.
But as soon as you get there, you touch down on the island, I'm assuming.
No, it's
it was a big island.
Oh,
yeah,
South Island.
Yeah.
On location.
Yeah,
Touchdown on location. Is gamesmanship Steve Price kicking in? Are you all in as soon as you get there?
Can I throw one of my random analogies
go on
like I normally? Is it like walking into a new dressing room of new teammates and you've got to size people up and go, okay, this is the pecking order. This is how I can work this. That's how I think. I'm pitching myself to get on the show.
All right,
but is that what you do?
Was fly Brisbane, Queenstown, go to the hotel that I'm staying at, and I'm going for dinner. And at dinner, I'm going to meet people from the game. And the first person to walk into the room, it was a private room, walk in was Tummy. And I'm going, hey, mate. And he goes, hey, mate. I go, are you here for...
Did you know him prior?
Not really.
Yeah, wow.
But I had seen him.
Yeah.
But, I'd never spoken to him. And, then we sort of got chatting like, this is sort of weird and all that. And then other people started walking in and, then it was like, okay. And so got told a little bit what was sort of the gist and had no idea who we're up against because two teams, and didn't meet them until we'd done a challenge, and then our challenge was against them. That was the first time we saw.
Oh wow! So it is proper,
So,
like no
proper,
no smoke
man.
and mirrors and
Proper, you walk in and you're going, oh, okay, oh, and they're doing the same to you, 100%, 100%.
amazing.
How tight are the NDAs? Like when you leave?
Yeah.
Like there was a Treasure
Don't look at the
Celebrity Treasure Island party last night.
What's
right?
an
'Cause
NDA?
Like non-disclosure. Like
Oh, yeah.
you can't say who won, obviously. Does everyone know?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, I swear I don't know.
Fuck, that's so good.
Yeah.
Wait, we might have given it.
No.
We might have to read it.
No.
That means you didn't win.
No, I'm not saying that.
The what's an NDA was a good one. You can't have a fucking MBA and not know what an NDA is.
No,
What?
no.
Brilliant,
So
brilliant,
I'm
brilliant.
saying I don't know. 'Cause I don't know.
Yeah. So okay. So that's the
Yeah.
company line. I don't know. Everyone
Yeah.
gets asked. I
I'm
don't know
not
what
sure.
happens. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. But the people, the other people you met, does it become a family? Like, do you develop close enough bonds with them that? They're
Well, I didn't know them, and now I do. And yeah, catching up like last night, it was like a reunion. Like it was cool. And yeah, and mate, strap yourself in because there's stuff that it's happening, right? So that's cool when that's like that you can catch up, and it's very much like footy where there's, mate, you're gonna have some battles, man, but yeah, after it, like yeah, we all get on well and respect, and it's really cool.
Also, it's a place take you out of your element. I mean, you're saying you're at a place you're not really sure what you're doing and you're confused. I'm sure after this trip to New Zealand, even this little junket and these experiences and that one back then, it just changes your perspective on things a little bit. Does it give you a bit of a shift?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing the show because I know what I went through and how in my head things were going, but then how it actually is presented, it can be really different. And I'm really looking forward to that because when I did my Intrepid journey, it was like that as well. Like did Nepal and Kathmandu, Kingdom Mustang, and I remember all of the experiences that I had, but then other people's vision of that story was a little bit different to what mine was, but it was so cool to see it in that light.
Yeah.
And that's going to be this as well. Like there's some creative people who are part of this show who are going to have all of this footage that they're going to put together in a way that's going to be absolutely mind-blowing and next level that I probably wouldn't have any idea of, oh my God, I didn't realise that's how I would look, or
Yeah.
do you know what I mean, sound or come across, or I didn't know that person was thinking that.
Yeah,
or,
that's the great part.
or said that, or do you know what I mean? Like they're all the things that still don't know. So
How are you going to watch it in Australia?
unsure yet.
Not sure.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get something. But
Yeah.
it's something I've sort of said to the guys at Warner Brothers and TVNZ is I've had a lot of people reach out to me and say, mate, we want to watch it, like that are in Australia. And yeah, because it's a New Zealand thing, it's only here in New Zealand. So yeah, we'll have to all make a trip over and have a viewing. We'll just take a cinema and we'll just have a junket, just watch the whole